Is this thing on? So hey everyone, how is it going? I hope you have a great time over there. I am enjoying my weekend doing another video for you, and we are going to talk about this microphone, and the reason for that is I put it in frame so you can listen to the microphone and get an idea of how it sounds. So it is quite competitively priced, coming in at around 230 US, and it lies between the lower end microphones around the $100 marks and way under something like a Shure 7B would cost. So let me show you what comes in the box with this one, so you get an idea of how it's packed and how the microphone looks. So this is the package the microphone comes in. It is the Rode Procaster broadcast microphone. A dynamic microphone comes in a regular cardboard package, and let's open it up and see what's inside the packet. The first thing we have is the pouch with the Rode logo on it, which contains the microphone. Then we also have a microphone bracket allowing us to mount the microphone to any desk stand or microphone stand. And then we also have this blue rubber washing ring. It is supposed to minimize the effect of having a microphone cable slip out. It's not really a necessary thing when buying high quality XLR cables. And then we also have some instructions coming with the microphone. They also added an I Love Rode sticker, a 10-year warranty card, and the instruction. So now let's talk about the characteristics and features of this microphone. You only see a portion of it here in the video, so just the top quarter maybe. And it has a grill on the front and on the side. But by its look, you might be thinking it is a side addressed microphone, and it is not. It really is a front addressed microphone. In terms of the characteristics, so first of all, this is a dynamic microphone. Dynamic means everything that creates the signal, the audio signal, is the diaphragm vibrating. This will inductively create the current, which is much lower usually than when using a condenser microphone. But we will get to that a little bit later. After being a front addressed microphone, let's talk about the pickup pattern. This one is a cardioid microphone. Cardioid means it has a lobe of sensitivity in the front and pretty much no sensitivity to the back. It makes it great to isolate in a workspace, which I am here in my office, and doing voiceover work. So we have this lobe of sensitivity, not only going to the side, so also to the top and to the bottom. So consider this when setting up this microphone, that there is this sweet spot in front of the microphone. So we have a dynamic microphone, front addressed cardioid, and it also is an XLR connection. So there are two similar microphones by Rode. This one is the Procaster, and then there is the other one, the Podcaster. The Podcaster is different in terms of it is a USB microphone, which means it has the analog to digital converter built into it. And to me, it also sounds different because you have a different preamp and a different AD converter in it. And with this one, you are quite flexible. You can use different interfaces. You can use a dedicated preamp for it, which I would recommend, and we also will get to that in a little bit. Then let's talk about the frequency response. So looking at the response graph, we will see this one tapering down around 75 Hertz, which is not much in the low frequencies. So in terms of how this could be used, it really is targeted to voice work. Usually dynamic microphones can be used also for heavy metal, guitar cabs, bass cabs, and kick drums. Being cut off at like 75 Hertz, I wouldn't use it necessarily on a bass cab or on a kick drum because it would be lacking these super low frequencies. But for voice, that actually is quite beneficial because it looks like they have integrated something like a low cut filter for it, which also means when I get closer to it, the bass increases, and that is called the proximity effect. And keeping the bass frequencies in check is quite important because when it gets super boomy, you have to do more post work. So that might be the reason why they have lowered the bass frequencies in these. But you will also see a little dip in the higher low frequencies, and you will see a bump in the high frequencies before it tapers off, and that will bring a little bit clarity. So you could also call this like a presence boost for the microphone, and that might be helpful, especially when you have a little bit of music in the background, so your voice will cut through that a little bit better. So now we went over all the specs and the features of the microphone, and now let's talk about real life scenario use cases, the advantages and disadvantages of this microphone maybe. First of all, the pouch that it comes with is not padded, and even though this microphone has a metal casing and everything, I wouldn't throw it around like I would with the Shure SM58. And there's another reason why you might not just want to take it with you to record a podcast or anything. Depends on the equipment you own and the equipment you want to take with you. Reason for that is this microphone, being a dynamic microphone, requires a lot of gain. And a lot of gain in this case means about 55 decibels of gain. I only know about the Shure 7B, which needs around 59, which even tops this one. So yeah, the output usually is quite low for these types of microphone, and this is a gain-hungry microphone. But I wouldn't want to use it with just a mixer or just my interface, because then I would introduce noise from the preamp, and maybe also I have to boost the signal in post, which then will also increase the background noise and everything. So that wouldn't be ideal. If you, however, would like to use this microphone on the go, you need a preamp for it. What I would recommend doing in such a case is getting something like a Fathead or a Cloud Lifter, which is an inline preamp for your microphone signal. They're using phantom power to drive the preamp, and that is probably the only way for these types of microphone to get really good signal or signal to noise ratio. So if you do not want to invest in additional features or want to pack more, then probably the Procaster microphone might be more interesting for you. But for what I am doing here, driving it through a dedicated preamp, this microphone works quite well, and I'm quite satisfied with how it sounds. So now let's talk about a few additional features this microphone has, and they are not obvious by just looking at it. So the microphone is one hand width away from my mouth, and it has an integrated pop filter, so you don't see me using an additional one here. And the reason for that is it has one. But also, I could argue with it. Sometimes you might hear plosives when I'm not careful of where they are going. So it has this pop filter, but then on its own, it's not doing the greatest job. So depending on how close you want to get, you might want to add an additional pop filter. And then let's talk about shock mounting. So the microphone comes with this regular mount that screws directly into a microphone stand, an arm, and desk arm, or whatever. I don't like the idea of putting it into an additional shock mount if it's not really necessary. So first of all, I like this being a front address microphone, so I can position it that it does not take a lot away from my view. And using a big shock mount for this big microphone defeats the purpose of this basically, and it will cover a lot of my view when working on my desk, doing a Skype or whatever. And in addition to that, the capsule itself is shock mounted internally. So you can put your hands on the casing, you can move it around, and you don't have a lot of noise transferring straight into the capsule. So I really appreciate the mount that comes with the microphone, because it also contributes to having a good position for it and not taking a lot of your field of view away. So now you could get an idea of how this microphone sounds. I think I kind of like it, especially for the price. And it is a really competitive microphone when I think about the Shure 7B being around $500 or something. So yeah, is this the best microphone? Probably not. But for what it has been made for, I think for the price, you cannot get much better. So now I would like to discuss with you if you like how this microphone sounds, how your experiences maybe are with this microphone, or if you know about other microphones in the similar price range, because I really think about like in the price range this is, you cannot get much better quality. I really hope it was helpful to give you an overview of how this microphone sounds, what you might consider when getting the microphone so you can drive it properly and use it properly. And yeah, leave me a comment, also leave me a like, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the notification bell so you can follow up with the upcoming videos, and I see you in the next video.